So guys, you may all know I know absolutely everything in the world, and I decided to share the secret to my power in this video for clickbait so I can get more than my average 15 views. Well anyway, what I found is a formula which I can use to calculate most of my math answers. In this video, I talk about how I got this formula. Well anyway, into the video. I call this formula the penguin math formula, and using it, the answers to most of my math questions are suddenly clear. I'll say how I got it using 6 steps. When getting this formula, obviously, my first step is Algebra 1, where the first thing drilled into our head is slope. All good things go through the origin, so the equation of lines going through the origin would be y equals ax. Because step 1 for us is slope, we are going to remember a. Remember a. Next step in getting our formula is a classic wannabe smiley face, the parabola. You may also know that the equation of a parabola is y equals x squared, but what most people fail to realize is that the 2 up here is a real number, but not only this, but that the x right here directly correlates to the shape of the parabola. Better believe it. Because the x directly correlates to the parabola, and the 2 is a real number, we are going to represent the parabola with p to the r. Next is obviously the unit circle. How could we forget about our buddy? I'm surprised by myself for not making it first. But anyway, you might know the equation of a unit circle, but for this one the equation is actually completely unimportant. Then what will we represent the unit circle as, you might ask? We are actually going to be a bit different this time and represent it by the grade we get whenever we have any unit circle related tests. F. Actually, what am I saying? We need to remember the circle, so let's represent the unit circle not as f, but f to the o. Aha. Partway through making this video, it occurs to me that this may not make total sense to you, but trust me, by the end of this video, I can guarantee that you will understand this formula. However, no refunds. Well anyway, time for part 4, which is a combination of both imaginary numbers and logarithms, both equally confusing and grade lowering, but that is actually not why I put these two together. This probably comes as no surprise to you, but I put these two together because they make the perfect smiley face. If the dots of the eyes are the eyes, and the logarithm is the smile, this is just some person who is born with very big eyebrows. Again though, we have to remember the smiles are a mask guarding your grades. Conquer the smile and the grades are yours. Fail to conquer the smile, and join society averaging a very symmetrical C. Oh yeah, before I forget, we will represent this as IL, the I standing for imaginary numbers and the L standing for logarithm. We multiply them because how else would we create a 2D face? On to step 5 and we're almost done. While many have heard about the unit circle, only the few elite tier math people actually know about the unit oval. While the unit circle helps us with right triangles, the unit oval actually helps us with reflex triangles. This step is relatively simple, and we will represent this step as what I said when I first learned these things existed. Oh. And that brings us to the 6th and final step, the feeling of dread. When you're getting back a math test, you specifically remember bombing, because you can specifically remember turning in the test with some. With most of the answers not filled in and blank because you did not know the answer. This one should also come as no surprise, but we will represent this by what you hold above your head while excusing yourself to go to the bathroom and flush all your hopes and dreams down the toilet. L. Actually, L is singular. Let's make that plural and actually have multiple L's. L's. There we go. And this is a perfect segue into the accumulation part of this video, where I tie everything together so you never fail math again. It was a while ago, but we started the video with slope and the parabola, and the reason we would multiply them here is because slope often has to do with negative line graphs, with x commonly represented as time and y as sanity. But we changed that with the smiling parabola, and everyone knows that if you multiply time by a smile, what you get is happiness. So that is why we multiply. If you remember, we represented slope as a and the parabola as p to the r, with p for parabola and r for real number. So slope multiplied by a parabola would be simplified as a times p to the r. And if you understood this entire presentation thus far, you should have already seen this coming, but we will actually divide the a times pr by our unit circle, which can also be represented as such. The reason we divide by the unit circle is because we want to put below us our previous grades, and maybe turn over on a new leaf. Not turn too much though, because then our grades would just resurface. Well anyways, we would next subtract imaginary numbers and logarithms from the numerator, because who wants those, and in the denominator let's chug ahead and multiply our unit circle by our unit oval, and add the average math test. We have to remember that the more we do in our denominator, the more we divide and get rid of later, because that's definitely what division does. I think now we have our finished formula. Oh wait, I forgot one last thing. We can't forget to take the factorial of this expression, then the numerical answer of this will be the answer to all of your future math questions. The factorial adds some oomph to our expression, really adds some exclamation and playfulness, because we all need some playfulness in our day. Well anyway, that's it for this video, and I hope by now you understand my formula, you know, where it came from and how I put it all together and stuff. Well, on that note, have a playful day today.